Good morning. This is Michael Fitzgibbons with another episode of Unscripted. And today we have a wonderful opportunity here this morning to have Zoe Zahul, who is Executive Director with New England Arab American Organization in Westbrook with us. And so, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here today.
So the first thing that I told you was I didn't want you to prepare at all.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
I like that.
Okay. But I did a little bit because I think like most of us, we could be more informed, right? Since we're starting with immigration, I always try to make things relevant. So just before we started, I was out here looking some stats up on immigration, and I'll just share them now. We had 2.8 million temporary work student exchange visas issued in 2023, and we had 1 million, according to the Department of Human Services and State Department, about 1.2 million people obtained lawful permanent resident status. The part that was interesting was that illegal unauthorized immigrants were 2.47, the majority of which actually should be no surprise it came over the, over the border, and the net result was about 1 million gain. Okay, so lots of numbers and what have you, but the reality is that we have a lot of people that are coming here, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
And so this would probably be a great lead-in to share a little bit about your story in Lebanon.
Yeah.
And how old you were when you would have become aware of it.
Yeah.
And your path.
Yeah. So, as you shared, I'm originally from Lebanon. My parents are both Syrian, but they decided to move to Lebanon and get married there and live all of their life, have their kids there. So the war started, I was 7 years old, and I don't think the war in Lebanon ever ended, but I left after 20 years of the war.
So you were 7 when it broke out?
Yeah, it was very, very bad. I remember a lot of things. And
so, and your husband, who was a good friend of mine, Waleed. Right?
Yeah.
Is
yeah.
it childhood? You've known him since fifth grade?
Seventh grade. We
grade,
felt in love, and when we left the country, we decided to live together. So we get married, and we immigrated to Canada. So we stayed there. We had our first child.
Before we get to that, leading up, you left at approximately 27?
I was
right?
27
And you both
years
had
old.
an education, right? I think you said, is it software engineering?
We did computer science,
Yeah.
both of us, yeah.
Okay.
We finished, we studied at LAU, which is Lebanese American University, affiliated with New York University here in New York.
Mm.
So we had our degree, BA degree, and
went to Canada.
We went
Why did
to
you
Canada.
Why did you choose Canada?
Because it was the first country that gave us the paperwork. And
So you filed with multiple countries.
yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And we left to Canada. And we both worked in Montreal.
Well, you had a good situation, right? I mean, if I remember, you worked for the Transportation Authority or something.
For Revenue Canada, yeah. So I worked for Revenue Canada.
Yeah. And you had a good win
story.
there, didn't you?
Yeah.
That was probably your biggest single career up to that date.
Exactly.
Saved the Canadian government a tremendous amount of money.
Yeah, $20 million a year. I still remember it.
These things do happen.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
what can I say? So, so there you are. You're in Canada, and everything is great. And you have a baby.
I had my first child.
Okay.
And then when he turned 4, we got an offer to come and do work here in United States, to come to United States under TN visa, both of us, to do the Y2K changes.
Oh,
Yeah, before
wow.
year 2000. So no airplane stopped, no
Right.
nothing stopped in the
Right,
world.
right.
And
The world's big nervous breakdown almost.
Exactly.
Well, we thought so until COVID.
Exactly. And the funny part is that we were hired as a consultant, and we did the work for SAPI in Westbrook.
Oh, okay.
And the consulting company gave us an apartment in Portland, and we felt a total change between...
You loved it.
I loved it.
No, in what way? What was the difference?
So in Canada, like, we have the accent, you know, we don't have the Quebecers accent. We have the French accent because in Lebanon we have to learn French.
Mm-hmm.
And we always felt we're strangers. We did not feel people wanted to meet us.
Speak the language, they don't like the dialects, you're
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Boston comes with a lot of different accents, New York too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but for us, like, we were not able to connect to people as a human being.
Yeah, Maine is great.
And we
Be
found...
careful though, we don't want to say too much.
Yeah. Maine is great. So we've been here 28 years now
Okay.
in Maine.
But that was, those weren't all the stops because you went home at one point, right?
I did.
Okay, so I got the short version.
Yeah. So before coming to United States, I had, with my first child, I had complication with my pregnancy. So second child, I was at very high risk.
Oh.
So I went back home.
Yes.
only-
Feel safe.
Exactly.
You knew the medical care.
Exactly.
Right.
And also, like, to have, in case something happens, for my parents to take care of my kid.
Right. When you add all that up and all the moving, and particularly after your eldest was born, once in my life, I moved halfway across this country.
Mm-hmm.
So I can remember that very clearly. And I can't imagine doing that between countries. Yeah. So now you're here in the United States and you were working with the Y2K, and then what?
Then we loved it so much. We loved our neighbors. I found my kids really connecting to their friends. We started connecting to the parents of my kids' friends, who became our family here. Because till now, we don't have family here. So we found home by connecting to these people and become part of their families, and for them to stand up for us when we needed them.
What is it that you feel enabled you all to plug in a way where so many people don't?
Like, I don't know, like maybe the acceptance that, you know what, like, we lived in a country, unfortunately, before coming here, that instead of trying to give hope to make the dreams of its citizen coming true, it was to take them away, to steal them away. And it's hard when they don't see you as a human being.
Well, we know this because we've been a few places together with the organization, okay?
Yeah.
So can we talk about the organization now?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the New England Arab American Organization, and it's based in Westbrook. Okay. Why don't you tell people what you're up to and what it was born from?
Yeah, so 2010, I took time off from work, from computer science, and I started helping out, like, newcomers, new Mainers that were from the Iraqi
Okay.
community. So I thought, I know Arabic, I know other language, so I can utilize it. And I did some work as an interpreter from 2010 till 2014. I took training to become an interpreter.
Were you up at Maine Med? Were you doing work at Maine Med?
I used to be, as an interpreter also at the Maine Med.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Wow, where haven't you been? Wow.
Yeah, and also I was an interpreter at the court and a lot of other assignments.
Oh boy, I bet you were.
Yeah, and during these assignments, I found out that there are a lot of common struggles between people that I'm interpreting for. And I started documenting this and seeing over 4 years and seeing how much these people need to connect to resources to help them out.
It is just, the systems are taxed.
Yeah.
And it's not a question of whether people want to do a good job. Yeah. It's just that the resources are spread thin.
Exactly.
And, you know, I mean, whether the system is used or whether it's abused, the progression is kind of the same, right? I mean, newcomers, they get entitlements, and you know, they'll get temporary housing, and then they'll get a subsidy for housing, and then they'll get SNAP benefits, and you know, so forth. But you know, it's almost like you're giving fish, but you're not teaching anybody to fish.
Yeah. And this is where we came to the picture. And now what we do, we know and we're grateful for the benefits to be available for a period of time. However, we want them to go get to work. We want them to learn skills. We want them to be the role model for their kids, to see that, well, my father went and became a doctor or an engineer, and he's not sitting at home. He's working.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is well, in a very crude, elementary way, it's labeling. I mean, it's all about the label and the branding, and that just happens to be degreeing and, you know, degrees. But the reality is the skill sets are there. There just needs to be a better way of universal recognition and testing, and it needs to be affordable. It does, you know, that's the other thing. I mean, that was the other wake-up call. I remember this is through Mana with Stephanie, right? And you know, if somebody wants to study and take an engineering certification, it's wonderful, but they don't have $400 for the course or the books.
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway, tell us about some of the programs that you're most excited about with the organization.
So a lot of our programs are around women to help her out, learn new skills, get back to work, get new education. However, we have a lot of programs that we also built to help out the younger generation, because again, we see that the younger generation is going to be the future of tomorrow, and we want to try our best to help them get higher education, continue their education, and find the resources that they need to help them out, whether it's mentors, tutoring with English, with different subjects that they need in order to get there. So we try to really break the barriers of...
well, talk about the dual program.
Okay.
Come on, that's an example of what you're talking about.
Yeah. So one of the program, again, like you asked me before getting to that, you asked me before what made this home. For me, what made it home is that, and this is what we're trying to give at NEO, is having the people that recognize our needs and try to help us with what we need, not what they want us to need.
Right.
So for us, again...
And that's a reconciliation in terms of funding, right?
Yeah.
Because funding is, you know, that's giving money in the grants generally has a mandate, right? And you have to adjust. Yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah. So for us, again, all of our programs are built out of necessity, out of the need of the community. So we do surveys, we get these surveys, then we study it, and then we see what the highest need there, and we try to meet it. And the doula program was built because also of the need of, like a lot of women that are here all alone. They don't have family. When they give birth, maybe they're not very close to their in-laws, but again, not knowing the language, feeling all alone in this very special time. And we applied for this program, a doula program, that allowed us to train 12 doulas to give culturally appropriate support. So we took what we do here and we added to it the culture that
Well, not only
we
that,
do.
seriously, I mean, in terms of community and intimacy and feeling safe,
Yeah.
wonderful, but also just the reality of the math, it offloads our medical system.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, it helps, especially in rural area
Yeah.
where there is more need
Yeah.
for that. And again, like this will give them a good income, and in return, it gives them the opportunity to be involved in the workforce, whether to be hired by community doulas, which is to do birthing for other women in the community that need that, especially when they develop all the skills to be able to do that. So.
Well, let's see. Let's create a picture here. Let's rewind the clock a little bit.
Yeah.
We've got the van, right?
Yes, the RV, you mean.
Which this summer, how did you use it at all? Was it used for the movies at the Westbrook?
Not really, no,
okay,
because
okay.
it was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was fun. Talk about the program that you did this summer with the outdoor movies.
Yeah, so we did.
And this was for everybody, right?
Yes, we did in partnership with the Westbrook Community Center movie night. So every Wednesday we had a 22 feet screen. And we shared the movie. People from all over came, from Biddeford, we had a couple of families from Augusta, but also it's definitely for everyone.
Okay.
It was a free event for everyone.
Free.
Yeah.
Outdoor, summer evening,
Cotton
community.
candy, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Okay. And not an expensive thing, just sharing the idea of coming together.
Exactly. And this will give us also the opportunity to meet new people, and also for the host community, for our neighbor, to get to know their neighbors, to get to know who are these kids, who are these neighbors that just moved in, and then maybe through the interaction of the kids to see, well, they are same thing.
Well,
like
here's
us.
what I think, and I'm gonna, this is actually a lead in. In this moment, you can't be everywhere. You can't be, and you're spread thin, right?
Yeah.
And you have a staff, and we've recently experienced a big cutback, right? Can you tell us a little bit about what that was about?
Yeah, so we had a federal grant under DOJ to create a task force here in Maine to have Maine a place with no hate. This is what was the grant's or the project's title is.
Okay.
And unfortunately, in April, we were asked to give.
Okay, and
the
you
money
said
back.
who was this? This was a grant by the
DOJ.
right
Yeah.
Department of Justice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to share something. So that was a moment when that happened, right? Because I say we because Zoe and I we know each other, and I am on the board of her organization, and it was a huge disappointment, and it's not unique, is it? I mean, it's happening everywhere.
Yeah, it happened to other organizations too. And for us, the impact, it was that our staff shrank, and we had to lose some staff. Unfortunately, also, we became, instead of 12 staff members, we became 5
Okay.
Just two part-time.
So we could go on, but
Yeah.
but I think we've conveyed what we want to convey. I
Yeah.
think if there's a message of hope, what would you say? That was kind of what I texted you. I didn't want you to prepare, but
Oh.
do you have any thoughts particularly for people that are new Americans, maybe?
For new Americans, if they are here in Maine, I believe Maine is a wonderful place to be at. Maine really is full of people that are so kind and caring. And hopefully they will find the people that will give them the time to get to know them. And again, I always go back to all of us. We're all human beings. We all have same build, like we all have blood. We have, yes, like maybe our skin color can be different or our accent can be different. But at the end, we all want the same thing. We want the best for our families, for our community, for our kids to grow in a safe and good environment for us to give them back what we could not. Like I give, for example, myself as an example, my dream was to become a doctor in Lebanon.
Right, and look at where your son is.
Yeah, and I couldn't make that dream come true because I could not be part of a militant party.
Right.
And now
well,
my son made my
that's
dream.
That's a beautiful sentiment because isn't that what a legacy is about?
Yeah.
Is making something better after we're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, when I was preparing all this and I did this outline, when I added up, right now in this moment, I would say that immigrants love America more than America loves them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that so much, would you say so much that is driven by fear and the unknown and not accepting? And we need to open our hearts.
Unfortunately, sometimes it is. And again, like looking at the community I work with, we work with the community all over Maine. And I'm so proud to see all the new businesses opening up. And we did a training a couple of weeks ago where we looked at statistics. And again, like immigrants are bringing in tax like 2.2 billion.
When I run it out and where I see the successes really coming is where there's been a certain amount of grit and perseverance needed, to dig in.
Yeah.
And it takes that kind of grit to make this civilization go, right? So it was a pleasure to have you here, Zoe. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You're entirely welcome.